Once upon a time, in the beautiful city of Yu, stood a prestigious mixed boarding school named Gratis College. It was every parent's dream to have their child study there. The entrance examination was notoriously tough, and only a select few managed to scale through. Among those who gained admission on the first try was a girl named MM, an exceptionally brilliant student who came out on top in the examination. MM's mother was a poor trader who had no idea that her daughter had even taken the test. Gratis College had always seemed out of reach, but MM's dreams were much bigger than her poverty. Every night, she secretly studied by candlelight, borrowing textbooks from a kind neighbor and solving past questions at the local library. When she saw the entrance examination notice on a school wall and discovered that the test was free, she took a leap of faith. She applied in secret, walked to the exam venue alone, and sat confidently among daughters of lawyers, bankers, and politicians. She poured her entire soul into the exam as if her life depended on it, and in a way it did. When the results were released, her name topped the list. Mr. Felix Udofia, the owner of Gratis College, a stern but fair man with a passion for academic excellence, was stunned by her performance. It was the highest score ever recorded. However, when registration began, MM could not afford the fee. She sat at her mother's market stall, overwhelmed with sadness. Her mother noticed and asked what was wrong, but MM couldn't bear to tell her. As the deadline loomed, MM received the surprise of her life. Representatives from Gratis College came to the market to inform her mother that MM had been awarded a full scholarship. Her tuition, books, uniform, and meals would be covered by the school. MM was the first scholarship student at Gratis College. Overwhelmed with joy, MM prepared for her new journey. Her mother, proud but tearful, gave her heartfelt advice to focus, to pray, and to never forget where she came from. On the day of resumption, MM packed her few belongings into an old, patched-up metal trunk. Inside were secondhand textbooks, neatly folded uniforms, and a bucket of provisions, just Gary, sugar, and groundnuts. The grandeur of Gratis College left her speechless. She was ushered to her dorm, where she met her roommates, daughters of the elite. But the welcome was cold. Her roommates treated her as a charity case. Whispers followed her every move, and her modest meals were mocked. Despite the bullying, MM stayed focused. She studied when others gossiped. She prayed in quiet corners while others partied. Her mother's voice echoed in her mind. Let your silence speak through your success. But in Gratis College, silence could be dangerous. Status was everything, and MM's lack of it made her a target. Longing to belong, MM set her sights on befriending the school's most popular girl, Eva, the daughter of a prominent politician. Eva's best friend, Udori, was wary of MM, but MM was determined. One day, she approached Eva and nervously asked to be her friend. Eva laughed, unimpressed. Her friend sneered, "What makes you think we'd be friends with a charity case?" But Eva, intrigued by MM's desperation, agreed on one condition. MM would have to prove she was ready to roll with the big girls. Eager to be accepted, MM agreed without hesitation. That was the beginning of the end. Eva handed MM a drink, hesitant but desperate. MM drank it. The next few hours were a blur. She woke up at 3 a.m., lying alone in the middle of the school field. Shaken and confused, she stumbled back to the dorm. The next morning, Eva acted as if nothing had happened. MM felt foggy, weak, and scared. When she asked Eva about the drink, Eva gaslighted her. MM began to deteriorate. Her health failed. Her hands trembled and she couldn't focus. One evening, collapsed outside the cafeteria, rushed to the school clinic. Tests revealed she had ingested a harmful substance that severely damaged her kidney. She was referred to a specialist hospital in UO, where doctors delivered crushing news. She needed a kidney transplant or she would die within weeks. Whispered the truth to her mother. Eva had given her the drink. Her mother stormed to the principal, Mr. Udofia, only to be told that was troubled and the disappointment. "We did our best," he said coldly, "but the environment she came from shaped her poor decisions." Days later, and her mother received a letter. Was expelled. The school accused her of misconduct and labeled her a bad influence. The letter said nothing about Eva. Was painted as a failed scholarship experiment. The media descended like vultures. Tabloids labeled a substance abuser. Headlines screamed of how Gratis College's golden scholarship girl had disgraced the school. Her and her mother's pictures went viral, framed by lies. The school canceled the scholarship program entirely, blaming Her mother, heartbroken but determined, stood outside the